What's up, everybody? As you can see, I've constructed a new outfit here to make videos. Fear not, Boo can still get in and out of the camera, as you can tell with her white tip tail. My only fear is that she will probably try to climb this poorly constructed, poorly constructed rigging that I have here. Um, I like it. I think it's pretty cool. Make me look a little bit more professional. Also, it's my favorite color, which also is the color of House Tyrell in Game of Thrones, which is one of my favorite houses. And again, here's Boo. Somebody said she looked really big the other day. She's not big. She just looks big in the camera. She's actually very tiny. Um, and she's going to be hanging out with us apparently today because she's not pissed off. Um, So I had the idea for two videos, but I figured it would make more sense just to put them together. The idea for the first video was how to disarm, how to de-weaponize the narcissist. A lot of people have talked about this, but I don't think they've done it much justice. They say, oh, well, de-weaponize or de-arm the narcissist by not caring or gray rocking. In an essence, that works. But how do you really make it work? Um, and at this point, you're going to have to do a lot of self-reflection. More so than you're probably used to. You need to look at what aspect does a narcissist hold over you. Now, these aspects can range: sexual, financial, emotional. Those are my three mains. So for example, if your narcissist is your only friend, how do you de-weaponize the narcissist? You go out and you make more friends, friends that matter, and then in that way you disable the narcissist because you are no longer needing them for that aspect. I know this sounds kind of narcissistic in and of itself, but when it's for self-protection, I don't see a problem with it. If you're reliant, say you're married to a narcissist and you're reliant on their finances, maybe you can borrow money from friends or family or the bank to get yourself set up again, therefore not being reliant on the narcissist anymore for that aspect. Um, the particular one that I'm going to delve into deeper today is, are you reliant on the narcissist for sex? And I know a lot of people have this problem, male and female, specifically male, are reliant on narcissistic individuals for the sex. Um, so, you know, again, to de-weaponize, take the power away from the narcissist, how are you going to handle this? Well, you would say, find sex somewhere else, right? But that in and of itself is a hairy situation, as I'm sure the other things are as well. So to clarify, women don't get offended by this video. I'm only giving the best point of view I can, which is a guy's point of view, to where the narcissist was basically hooking me via sexuality, which seems to be most of the guys that are involved with a narcissistic woman, that's the case. Um, if your male narcissist was hooking you with sexuality, it'll be probably very similar, but give and take, and understand that I'm only giving this from the male point of view. So if I was to sit here, and as I have, I've self-reflected, I've done a lot of thinking, I'm like, why did I stay? I stayed for the sexuality of it all. Even though she was, by all means, in all classifications, terrible in bed, there was something about it. And that took me a long time to figure out. I couldn't figure out if she was terrible in bed, why did I stay for sex? Because it logically didn't make any sense. It took me a long time. And then I said, okay, so if I was to de-weaponize a narcissistic individual via sexuality, what are my options? My options are to find I guess what you would call a fuck buddy. Not really into that, not my scene. Hire prostitutes. This has been a suggested thing by other guys that have gone through narcissistic abuse. Hire prostitutes to take the power away. Not for me. Jump into another relationship. No, also not for me. So I had to figure out why this this hook was still remaining in me in the sexuality field. And I started thinking about deeper. I grew up hitting puberty at the point where broadband internet was just coming out. So, needless to say, my puberty years were spent predominantly watching a shit ton of porn, and it was readily available. And you know what goes along with porn? Masturbation. So I got, in essence, used to a readily available, easy, slutty, dirty form of gratification. And I think predominantly most males my age, being 31 now, but around about my age, probably worse the younger they get, are all in the same boat. They're used to easy, slutty, nasty gratification. And what is this gratification? This gratification is of super hot girls doing super dirty things that most real life women don't actually do. But this was a status quo that was set up for us sexually. This is what we expected. This is what we came to be a norm out of sex. Now, the narcissist gave this readily. The only way the narcissist knew to have sex is by what they thought was sex. And their only example of sex was porn. So you can see the narcissist's only example of sex and what they want to portray as sex and passion and everything is porn. And many men growing up on porn and getting that gratification via porn, it's a perfect match. The man wants that gratification, and you have the narcissistic female that is portraying that exact gratification. So you get where I'm going with that. Sexually, it makes perfect sense why you would be entangled with a narcissistic female who's highly sexually charged in my generation. Now let me say, again, I've already said this, that this takes a lot of delving into yourself and self-reflection. After many months, years, I realized that the girl had nothing to offer me financially or emotionally or any of that. It was only sexually. And this is why I'm getting to this point. So, going back to the first topic that I discussed, disarming the narcissist, taking away the power that they have over you. As I mentioned before, if they're financially powerful, you borrow money or you get a loan. Emotionally powerful, you get more friendships and emotional connections with other people. So taking away the sexuality of it. I said before, I would not hire a hooker that would work. That would totally take away their power sexually. I'm not down with like the friends with benefits or hookup culture. So what then? What then? And by happenstance, I came up with the idea of self-masturbation. Now, I know when I say that, like, God damn, that sounds narcissistic as fuck. But it's not. It's not. It's not masturbating, looking at your own image, or going, oh my God, I'm so hot. This is great. It's more akin to scratching mosquito bite. You scratch it simply because it feels good. You're not thinking of anything. You're not, um, you're not going deep into it. You don't have to watch videos for it or look at pictures for it. You simply do it because it feels good. Now, that is the area that I want to talk about, masturbation. You can do the same thing with masturbation. Why I've come up with this and why I'm talking about this, and oh God, this thing is about to fall. Boo's about to kill it. Boo, don't do it. She's about to destroy the whole prop here. Well, stop. Boo cat. This is gonna be a nightmare. Why did I put this up with a cat around? I don't. Alright, anyway. Let me get back to the point. Why did I come across this? Somewhere in the area of discard, I was, I don't know the correct terms for this. Feeling the need, per se. And just for some reason, as an act of defiance, I wanted to fulfill that need without anybody else's input or physicality or visuals or anything. I just wanted to fulfill that need with nobody else fucking involved. So I did it just for the simple fact that it fucking felt good, and that was it. I didn't think about women's vaginas or buttholes or butts or tits or anything. I just did it simply like scratching mosquito bite. It felt good. And it honestly became, this was years ago, but it became strangely empowering. It was strangely gratifying that I didn't need somebody to satisfy that need. Um, and I really think that's catching on to something, specifically with my generation, and specifically with narcissism. If you're trying to disempower a narcissist, then this might be a way you want to go. With my generation, though, we're born and raised on fucking porn. Porn is everywhere. And it's not healthy. I mean, there's no doubt about it. I mean, I'm an advocate of porn. Porn's great. But it's certainly not healthy because it gives us false ideals, false ideologies of what we should seek. And most guys are seeking, to be bluntly honest, most guys are seeking relationships just for that porn nostalgia, that porn atmosphere. And I hate to say that, but it's very true. And why is it that way? It's much in that way the same that, an alcoholic starts to drink a lot or a heroin addict starts to use a lot. The alcoholic doesn't become an alcoholic overnight. They start to drink a lot because when they have fun, they drink. When they go to parties, they drink. The heroin addict, when they're at parties, they're I guess shooting up. I don't really know. And it finally gets to a point that these individuals think, in order to have fun, I must drink, I must shoot up, I must do heroin, I must do coke or whatever the fuck it is. They just get used to that status quo, that they think that in order to fulfill that need, this other thing has to be involved. So what I'm saying here is that most of the men in this world right now are saying, in order to fulfill that need, I need this porn star status. And women maybe as well. I need this in order to fulfill that need. So my ultimate point is you don't need anyone to fulfill that need for you sexually. Um, if you can keep an open mind, which I know this is kind of left field. I understand. Keep an open mind and try to attempt to see where I'm coming from and see that you can fulfill your need somewhat. I'm not saying completely. Completely sexually, you would need somebody else with you, but you can fulfill your need for that release, let's say, without needing somebody else. The same as you can fulfill your financial needs without needing somebody else. You can fulfill your emotional needs without needing somebody else. So I would highly advocate to the men and maybe some of the women that were sexually trapped, um, try this out. It sounds kind of creepy and sexual, but uh, just try it, okay? Just don't watch porn. Don't think about anybody. Just do it because it feels good. Just like scratch a mosquito bite. Just do it because it feels good. And I think that really will begin to break the bonds between the narcissist and sexuality. Um, when you no longer need them for that release or that whatever, all of a sudden their power is gone. It becomes irrelevant at that point. So I don't know how better else to say this, and I think I'm rambling on too much, but I hope you understand. Um, please tell me what you think. I hope it wasn't too intimate or vulgar, and I look forward to your comments. And I have a shit ton of Jesus. Okay, I'm gonna be honest with you. It's like 3 a.m. and I'm tired as fuck. I have a shitload of stuff coming. And I'm shifting away from narcissist and more towards deeper life aspects like this self masturbation. Take your power back. You don't need somebody else to feel good. Alrighty.